This tutorial will show the installation of the Entergize wireless thermostat on a remote thermostat capable PTAC. After unplugging the PTAC, the installer removes the PTAC outer housing to access the controls to install and wire the wireless PTAC interface. Wiring the wireless remote thermostat interface is similar to wiring a standard hardwired thermostat. After attaching a short length of thermostat wire to the PTAC, you now connect the thermostat wire to the wireless remote thermostat interface. It is always good practice to follow recommended wiring color coding when wiring low voltage thermostat wire. After wiring the PTAC wireless controller, it's now time to install the batteries into the thermostat and pair the thermostat to the controller. Let's take a short pause from the field installation to demonstrate the pairing process. After applying 24-volt power to the RX PTAC controller and installing the batteries in the thermostat, we will now pair the thermostat to the controller. It's easiest to start with the controller by pressing the pairing button momentarily. The controller is now in pairing mode. You must now momentarily press the pairing button on the thermostat within 60 seconds or the controller will time out. A successful pairing is indicated by 3 long flashes. You can verify successful pairing by sending commands from the thermostat to the controller. This is done by pressing the fan button repeatedly. As commands are received by the controller, its output will change as indicated by the applicable LEDs illuminating. An unsuccessful pairing is indicated when, after pressing the pairing button on the thermostat, the LED flashes 3 quick flashes followed by 6 seconds of steady illumination. When the LED light times out, the thermostat is no longer in pairing mode. Let's now look at the RX PTAC controller. A failed entry into pairing mode is indicated by the pairing light flashing 4 sets of 4 quick flashes. There are several circumstances that may result in an unsuccessful pairing. 1. The RX PTAC controller was not put into pairing mode prior to pressing the pairing button on the thermostat. 2. The RX PTAC controller's memory was not cleared after it was paired to a different thermostat. This procedure will be explained later in this tutorial. 3. The pairing button on the thermostat was not pressed within 60 seconds of placing the RX controller into the pairing mode. 4. The RX and thermostat were not within 6 inches of each other during the pairing process. There is also the unlikely possibility of a defective thermostat or RX controller, preventing communication between the two devices, resulting in an unsuccessful pairing. We will now demonstrate the process of clearing the memory on the thermostat and RX controller. Clearing the memory on the thermostat and RX controller is simple and is required when the RX has been previously paired to a thermostat. The thermostat can control up to 7 RX controllers, so it will not be necessary to clear the memory on the thermostat unless more than 7 RXs have been programmed to the thermostat. The memory on both devices have now been cleared and have been brought back to manufacturer's defaults. The installer will now assemble the RX controller by placing the top cover onto the main housing and securing with the supplied 4 screws. The installer verifies the thermostat is properly communicating with the RX controller before installing into the PTAC. When installing the RX into the PTAC, Select a suitable location to secure the RX controller into the PTAC. It's acceptable to either screw the RX controller to the housing of the PTAC or use an industrial double adhesive tape. When using the adhesive tape, it is very important that the mounting area is flat and clean before applying the adhesive tape. Be very cautious when mounting the RX controller into the PTAC using the supplied screws. Verify there is nothing behind the area of mounting that may be damaged when drilling the holes for the mounting screws. After pairing the RX controller to the thermostat and mounting the RX controller into the PTAC, you can now mount the thermostat onto the wall. After selecting a proper location, mount the thermostat base to the wall using the supplied hardware or other appropriate means of mounting. In most cases, a mounting height of 48 inches will be acceptable. However, it is best to check your local ordinance for the appropriate thermostat mounting height in your area. When selecting a location for the passive infrared-based thermostat, make sure the thermostat always has good visibility of the room. A good location would be a wall that has good visibility of the entire room, including the bed. Keep in mind, when selecting a mounting location for the thermostat, its passive infrared sensor does not see through objects, so it is important that no objects obstruct the view of the thermostat's passive infrared lens. Another important consideration is to mount the thermostat on an interior wall that is free from microclimates. Microclimates are created when the thermostat does not have good air circulation or is in very close proximity to a heat source, such as a TV or lamp. All Entergize thermostats are very accurate and reliable and will create a comfortable conditioned space when installed correctly. The installation should not be considered complete until all operational functionality has been tested by placing the thermostat into a heating coil and cooling coil, making sure the air conditioning unit responds correctly. To assist guests in identifying the changes to the PTAC's operational controls, from local control to remote thermostat control, it can be helpful to apply a sticker to the outside of the PTAC.